It's a question that's often sorry. It's a question that's often asked. While we're at work, who's watching our kids? It's the same question we've been asking here, dear, and we answered that question for you a couple seasons ago when we did investigation in daycare centers. Good evening and welcome to Give Me a Break. I'm Jonathan Carmody. Tonight we're going to show you a videotape that happened from a daycare center back in 2024 to where a child claimed that a daycare employee assaulted him. The employee says he had nothing to do with it, but the videotape tells the truth. So who do you believe? And will this tape prove otherwise, that the daycare employees are not fit to even watch our kids? Here's Darcy Spears.
I was distraught.
Late last summer, Bree chose the magic of learning on Horizon Drive in Henderson because it's in her neighborhood. Along with her 3 children, she says she toured the facility and they all loved it.
I was sold a dream.
But just 3.5 months later, in November 2024, she says something went terribly wrong.
I was just going to do my routine pickup and I could hear the screams from inside my car.
When she got inside, she says she found her 5-year-old, Arabella, at the front desk.
She would not move her arm. She couldn't.
Bree says she kept asking staff what happened.
They told me that she bumped it on the filing cabinet or the chair. There was like so many different stories that I was being told, and Arabella immediately told me no, that Mr. Bernard was the one who hurt her arm.
The daycare is equipped with multiple cameras, but Bree didn't see any video until months after the incident.
And it tore me to shreds. That I put my children in that environment.
The center wouldn't show her any footage or provide a copy until she hired attorney Al Lasso.
Once I saw that video, and based on that video, I believe that what they did was not only unacceptable, but unlawful.
In the surveillance video, you can see Bella in the reception area with multiple staff members. She climbs on the desk and plays with office equipment, including a stapler. Another child comes behind the desk, grabs a tablet, and falls to the ground trying to sit in a staff member's chair as it rolls away. You can see in the video that no one pays attention to him laying on the floor as they continue to work around him. He gets up on his own and collects his belongings about 40 seconds later.
I think anyone who views that video will come to the conclusion that it's run like a zoo.
At 4:08 p.m., Bernard Randall, a staff member identified in the lawsuit as Mr. Bernard, approaches the front desk. Bella backs away as he rounds the corner. As Bernard tries to get her up, Bella begins to scream and cradle her arm. This employee, identified in court records as Sequoia Benson Schofield, intervenes. Though Bella is clearly in pain, they keep handling her arm. Dismissing her reaction and trying to change her story.
So where did you take your arm at over there? So what happened?
Sequoia changes her own story several times.
When you were down there, you was in it, and when I seen it. I seen you get hit right there by the red chair. I didn't see it. Just so you know what's going on. I just heard you kept telling her to come out.
It continues.
So, she got a seat.
Yes, the cover-up is bad, but what they put the little girl through while bother getting her story straight. And that's the worst part, because there's, in my opinion, it appears she's being tortured.
I think it's okay.
15 minutes after the incident, one staffer hands 5-year-old Bella an ice pack to hold on her own arm.
Usually as a child, you expect the adults, they're there to help you and to comfort you and to get you the care you need. It's just the opposite in this case.
While Bella cries alone in a chair, staff continues with business as usual, emptying the trash and vacuuming around her.
We're gonna hear more from the parents about this, and we're gonna see what the daycare center has to say. And still ahead, the Bill Clinton scandals. 2 scandal stories you don't want to miss. So this story when we return, and the Bill Clinton scandals are still ahead. So stay with us. Continuing to look at an incident that happened in a daycare center back in 2024. A little girl's arm was broken by a Mr. Bernard, while others on that videotape, which you just saw, saying that he never touched her. He never broke her, he never touched her arm, he never did. It's all about the cover-up. Mom says the mother says she was not shown a video until she hired an attorney. What did people go wrong? Here again is Darcy Spears.
According to the lawsuit, no one from the Magic of Learning called Bree to tell her Bella was hurt or wrote up an accident report. When Bree arrived to get her children at the regular pickup time, which was nearly 40 minutes after the incident,
I raced out of there and I took her straight to the emergency room.
medical records from St. Rose Hospital show Bella's elbow had been dislocated. Bree says doctors told her
That it's a lot of force. Someone had to really aggressively do something for a child's elbow to come out the way that it did.
I reached out to Tom and Tess Kelly, the owner and director of the Magic of Learning, asking for interviews with them and other staff who were involved. No one would speak to me on camera or make any comment for this story. I spoke separately to Bernard Randall and Sequoia Benson Schofield on the phone, but they too declined comment.
It's hard for me to, trust other people with my kids now.
13 Investigates obtained public records for this year and last from the state's Child Care Licensing Bureau. Child care facilities are required to self-report injury incidents to the appropriate licensing authority, but the Magic of Learning's records show just one injury from the time frame we requested. In December, when a child suffered broken teeth after doing a backflip on the playground. Bella's injury was not documented in the records. The state confirms the facility did not report the incident and says child care licensing is now investigating. Henderson police also tell me that they still have an open investigation. As for other incidents at Magic of Learning, state licensing records show 8 complaints filed against the daycare since January of 2024. The only substantiated complaints were for being out of ratio several times, meaning too few staff members in charge of too many children. A complaint filed last October, 1 month before Bella's injury, alleged that a staff member picked up a child by the hands and wrists. That complaint was not substantiated. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.
So where do we stand on this? Well, here's where we stand on this. If you work at a daycare center, you are required by law, by the laws of your state, to report any injury. I'm glad this mom filed the lawsuit because, because no one can be trusted. This was viewed over 100,000 times by a lot of people and over 1,500 comments. She started to hide soon as she saw him. Wonder what happened before that day. The place needs to be shut down. They don't care about any kids. That child seen that man coming and was in fear. He's been hurting her. WTF calling her an overdramatic baby. Excuse me? You shouldn't be working with children. No phone to call 911 for medical. No call to mom. Gross. Shame on the mother for not knowing about it, you know? She requested video, but they were like, no, we can't give you the video until you hire a lawyer. What do you mean until you hire a lawyer? What do you mean by that? You know, you go to the date, like, you go to the, if there's something wrong with your child, you'll request to see video footage. But if they tell you, no, we can't do that because, you know, you need a lawyer, you are to ask them. You can't just go hire a lawyer and say, hey, they're telling me I need to hire you so we can see a videotape. That's stupid. This is exactly why I'm grateful to be able to stay at home and watch our grandchildren. These pathetic adults immediately banding together to gaslight the poor child to protect that man. He doesn't look like he belongs in that environment with children around. None of them do. Shut the place down. These adults are negligent liars. They children are stupid. They're trying to tell us something else happened. Thank goodness this young girl spoke out. A girl did not use her left arm to injury occurred. A child her age could not fake injury for 45 minutes. What is going on behind that desk area? The child was already terrified of the man. You can see in the way she tries to back away from him. You know, she's terrified. What does that tell you? Mr. Bernard needs to be fired. And everybody defending him, they need to be suspended. The directors, they can just sit there, lollygag, you know, playing poker. Those owners and directors, they can just sit back and play poker and watch Wheel of Fortune all day long and not even care about what's going on at the daycare centers. You have to report it. If you are director or owner of the daycare center, you are required by the laws of your state to report injury. If the state sees that you didn't do it, they can shut you down. So if you want to stay in business, this is what you have to do, you know? If you're going to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to apply for a daycare license and I think it'll be easy. You think it's that easy to apply a daycare license by getting out of the cereal box? It's not it's not that easy. It's hard. You got to go through all the steps. You got to know all about taking care of kids. You know, you may sit there and say, well, I'm a good parent. I take care of my child. I raise my kids the way I'm going to take care of everyone else. You know, whoop their ass. No. It's child abuse. Last season we showed you a primetime live video all about daycare centers. It wasn't just, you know, it isn't just, you know, daycare centers which was shown on Chris Hansen. It's also from home daycare centers. We're gonna have that for you on Game Break Saturday or Second Look Saturday, Second Look Sunday, depending on if we don't get the scandals done. As soon as she sees him from the other side of the desk, she froze and started backing up. WTF has he done to that poor little girl previously? This is why I barely trust anyone. Body language tells it all. Alright. Well, coming up, a Tennessee parent are demanding action after an appalling lawsuit that happened back in August. So what does this tell everybody? That, you know, teachers are not competent to take care of our children? We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We all trust our teachers to look out to help our kids. But what happens when it goes too far and no one does anything about it? In this next story, which you're about to see, it has to deal with the family of a child who the parents say that not one staff member did anything about. The family speaking out for the very first time, and you will see video camera footage that shows that nobody did a damn thing. Here's Amanda Chen.
Sean and Erin Broderick say their daughter was excited to start kindergarten at Longview Elementary School. But in February, Erin noticed a change. Her daughter didn't want to go to school anymore. Then came May 20th, when Erin says she got a call from Longview's school resource officer 3 hours after an incident inside the cafeteria.
He told me that our daughter was having a complete meltdown in the cafeteria,
that she wasn't being safe.
The Brodericks met with the school's principal, Dr. Kathy Ball, but they say Ball told them there was no incident, no report, no explanation. After discussing concerns to district leaders, the family reviewed surveillance and body camera footage.
And then for these adults to look me in the face and tell me that nothing happened after they put their hands all over my daughter, it's infuriating.
The Brodericks shared that video with Fox 17 News. They say it all started over a small disagreement between their daughter and a classmate involving a necklace.
And then she just sat in her seat, and that's where the video picked up. That was the entire event, that she just wanted her necklace back, her friend gave it back, and then her friend put her head down crying. There was no physical altercation, there was no danger. It's a typical 5-year-old dispute that could happen at any time with anyone's child.
This is part of the cafeteria footage. A teacher takes something from Erin and Sean's daughter's hands. A few minutes later, the child is surrounded by multiple adults. When the girl tries to run, those adults block her. The Brodericks say staff physically restrained the 6-year-old, even using their legs and feet. The SRO's body camera footage picks up at this moment. It's 34 minutes long.
Let's go.
The SRO then picks the girl up and carries her to Dr. Ball's office. The Brodericks say what happened next wasn't any better. A room full of adults mocking, blocking, and physically handling their daughter.
You better not mess up my yearbook.
At one point, a teacher takes off the girl's shoes and throws them. Another eats in front of her.
You sure are acting like a little 2-year-old. You know, you're not using a very big brain to hit a police officer. Oh, stop right now. I have had it, little girl. Let me tell you what, you're not gonna kick my wall.
I've never felt more sick in my life. I felt physically ill. I've felt physically ill throughout this entire process. My entire body was shaking with rage and anger.
The Brodericks believe staff escalated the situation instead of calming it down. When Erin and Sean stopped receiving answers from the district, they filed a lawsuit claiming negligence.
What does accountability look like to you?
To me, it looks like the adults that were involved in that are suspended. We asked for cameras in district offices and in school offices, so administrative offices, hallways, any points where there's blind spots in schools, so that God forbid this happens to someone else's family, they have the ability to request that information.
During a follow-up meeting with the Brodericks, an individual who identified himself as Williamson County Schools Superintendent Dr. Jason Golden strongly condemned the staff's actions.
Let me tell you all up front, it's appalling. When we looked at it, it was straightforward and simple. This just absolutely shouldn't have happened.
Do you agree that my daughter was emotionally, mentally, and physically abused in this room?
On its face, it looks abusive to me. Yes, it's appalling. I don't know how else to put it. On so many levels,
So
your daughter was done wrong. It is the most unique, most terrible event I have ever seen by far. I can't compare it to anything that I've seen in the 19 and a half years I've been here.
Fox 17 News requested the personnel files and any internal investigative files for everyone involved. Dr. Kathy Ball resigned during an internal investigation and is no longer with the district. Records from the Tennessee State Board of Education show April Lee received a written reprimand, a demotion from assistant principal to a school counselor, and a transfer to another school in the district. Meanwhile, Sean and Erin say the incident affected their daughter tremendously.
And we've spent the entire summer and a lot of therapy to empower her and to help her process this and move forward. But now she's confused as to who she does and does not have to listen to.
The Brodericks say they'll keep speaking out in hopes of preventing this from happening to another child.
Do you kick your mom and dad?
The State Board of Education says the district did not submit reports for other educators. Now, we did want to ask the district about its conduct of its employees on camera, but the district declined to comment, citing pending litigation. Reporting in Franklin, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Pending conduct? Well, you just saw me out, motherfuckers.
I'm just messing with you, but yeah, I'm just messing. This isn't a joke. I mean, let's take a look at this. I mean, look, you know. Let's look at the body cam footage.
Saru then picks the girl up and carries her to Dr. Ball's office. The Broderick say what happened.
Okay, this is the security footage, right? And here is this. This is the body cam footage of the SRO. Throwing the shoes, and this one here is eating. She's eating! Do you see the problem here? We need to retrain staff members to not do shit like this. If you see something, you fucking do something. Well, maybe this bitch right here needs to be transferred. You think so? Yes! You know why? No one's doing anything about it. Maybe you should change things up, bitch. You're sitting there. Look at this. Let me zoom in. Look at this. You see this right here? She's eating. She thinks it's a big show. Oh yeah, it's my favorite show ever. A student can't vandalize a school property. She's gonna get arrested. Let me go pop some popcorn. Yeah, you go, girl. You go, girl. You go, girl. You go. And what does... And look at this. She's over there doing something. I mean, this person right here should be suspended. She should be fired. Not transferred, fired. And look at that statement. And look, she's just sitting there watching like...
You know, you're not using a very big brain to hit a police officer.
And this person right here, look, this person right here is blocking the door. Okay?
Oh, stop right now. I have had it, little girl. Let me tell you what, you're not gonna kick my law.
I've never felt more sick in my life.
Well, the staff members, the person that's suspended, she resigned, you know? The staff members, we train fighters. This is it, you know? We see stuff happening in our schools, and all of a sudden we think to ourselves, you know, what's going on in our schools with all the stuff that's going on and no one reports it. You gotta report it, otherwise it's gonna end up being your ass on the... It's gonna end up being, you know, everything on the news. 2 sexual assault cases by Bill Clinton. Next, we're going to hear one from Ed Bradley, and later on, another one from Lisa Myers. Stay with us. The other woman. It's not some kind of, you know, it's not like a cheating woman going after a married man. Well, it kind of is if you go back to the Bill Clinton era. If you go back to the Bill Clinton era, you may have seen this woman. Her name is Kathleen Willey. She is one of the many people who say that Bill Clinton sexually assaulted her. There are 2 other women, Juanita Broderick and the other person that Stone Phillips interviewed, which I forgot to mention on our last broadcast. We're gonna have the Stone Phillips interview with the other one. But we have Kathleen Willey and Juanita Broderick to do it with. And if we don't do it today, we'll finish it on Thursday. But in this case right here, what you're about to hear, she says it happened. And now for the very first time on the record, she tells her side of the story about what happened when she entered Bill Clinton's room and a sexual assault happened. Here's Ed Bradley.
Kathleen Willey is 51 years old and lives in Richmond, Virginia. A loyal Democrat, she campaigned hard for Bill Clinton in 1992. Along with her late husband, Ed, she volunteered her time and contributed thousands of dollars to Mr. Clinton's bid for the White House.
In your mind, back then, what stood out for you about Bill Clinton?
His sincerity. I like the fact that he was my age, our age. I like the things that he believed in. He was a contemporary of mine.
How would you characterize, at that time, your relationship with the President?
We were friends. We had the occasion to speak with him on election night. He had called us right after the election, called me to thank us for our help. I would say good friends.
Once Bill Clinton became president, Kathleen Willey continued her volunteer work at the White House, in the correspondence office where she helped respond to the huge volume of mail coming in for the new president.
In this job, did you have much interaction with the President?
At that time, no.
She says all that changed right after she saw the president one day on the White House lawn, and then got a call from the president's scheduler, Nancy Hernreich.
I saw the president at the White House Easter egg roll where I was helping out, and he asked where I was. And when I got home that afternoon, there was a phone call from Nancy Hernreich asking me if I would come up and meet with her, that the president had an interest in my working someplace else other than correspondence.
Kathleen Willey was given a job in the White House social office located in the East Wing near the Oval Office.
Did you see the President more often in this job than you did in the other one?
Yes, I was in the East Wing at that point, yes.
But Kathleen Willey's life was about to fall apart. Her husband, a lawyer, was in deep trouble. He was under investigation for embezzling money from his clients, and the Willey family's finances were in a shambles. Kathleen Willey told her husband she needed to do something about it, and that she was going to see her good friend, President Clinton.
And I told him that I was going to go to Washington and ask the president for a full-time paying job.
And you felt comfortable doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What you're about to hear is what Kathleen Willey says happened behind closed doors that day between her and the President of the United States inside the Oval Office.
So let me ask you to take me through it step by step. What happened when you went into the Oval Office?
I went in and the president was at his desk, and I sat down in the chair across from him, and I obviously looked very distraught. He asked me what was wrong. I told him I had a really serious problem and that I needed his help. And he said, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" And I said, "Yes, I would." So he walked to a door on the other side of the Oval Office, which led into a hallway into his small galley kitchen. And there was a steward in there, I remember. And the president took a coffee cup down out of the pantry, and a Starbucks coffee cup, I remember. And he poured me a cup of coffee, poured himself a cup of coffee. And we started walking back down the hall towards the Oval Office, and he said, "Why don't you come in here into my study? We can talk better in here." And I stood and leaned. I was leaning against the door jamb. He was in the office. We were standing facing each other, and I told him what had happened. I didn't give him all the details. I just told him that my husband was in financial difficulty, and that things were at a crisis point, and that my volunteer days were over, that I needed a regular paying job, and could he help me?
And did he seem sympathetic? Did he say
Yes.
he could help you?
Yeah, he did seem sympathetic. He was listening. I had the feeling that he was somehow distracted when I was talking to him, but that he was not really listening, but I know that he did. I know he knows how distraught I was and how upset I was, because I was very worried. I was worried about my husband and what was going to happen.
And what happened next?
Well, he said he would do everything that he could to help, and I turned around and out of the office, and he followed me to. I thought he was going to open the door to the Oval Office, and right as we got to the door, he stopped, and he gave me a big hug, and said that he was very sorry that this was happening to me, and I had no problem with that, because every time I saw him, he would hug me. He just does that. It's like that. And I remember I still had this coffee cup in my hand, and it was kind of in between us, and I didn't want it to spill on him or me, and it just was just very strange. And he took the coffee cup out of my hand, and he put it on a bookshelf, and this hug lasted a little longer than I thought necessary, but at the same time, I was not concerned about it. And then he kissed me on my mouth, and pulled me closer to him, and I just remember thinking, what in the world is he doing? I just thought, what is he doing? And I pushed back away from him, and he's a big man, and he had his arms that were tight around me, and he touched me.
Touched you how?
Well, he touched my breast with his hand, and I was just startled. I was just.
This wasn't an accidental grazing touch.
No. And then he whispered. He said in my ear. He said, I've wanted to do this ever since I laid eyes on you. And I remember saying to him, aren't you afraid that somebody's going to walk in here? And he said, no, I'm not. And then he took my hand and he put it on him, and that's when I pushed away from him and decided it was time to get out of there.
When you say he took your hand,
right,
and put it on him,
mm-hmm.
Where on him?
On his genitals.
Was he aroused?
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking?
Well, there were all kinds of things going through my mind. I think, when I think back on it, it was kind of like I was watching it in slow motion, and thinking, surely this is not happening. And at the same time, I thought, well, maybe I ought to just give him a good slap across the face. And then I thought, well, I don't think you can slap the President of the United States like that. And I just decided it was just time to get out of there.
Did you say anything to him, or was there anything about your behavior that invited an advance?
I have gone over this so many times, so very many times, because I think that your natural instinct is to wonder, did I bring this on? Did I send us the wrong signal? The only signals that I was sending that day was that I was very upset, very distraught, and I needed to help my husband.
Did you feel intimidated?
I didn't feel intimidated. I just felt overpowered.
Did you ever say, stop, no, get away from me?
I pushed him away. And I said, I think I'd better go.
And what did he say?
He kept looking at his watch, because he told me that he had a meeting, and he said that he said they could wait. And I said, well, I'm leaving.
When you walked out of there, what were you thinking?
I just could not believe that had happened in that office. I just could not believe the recklessness of that act.
Recklessness? What do you mean recklessness?
Of his doing that right outside the Oval Office. I mean, there's Secret Service people around, there are stewards around, his staff is around, and I just thought it was extremely reckless. Later on, I think I was feeling angry. I was feeling that I had been taken advantage of. My circumstances had been taken advantage of.
You think he betrayed your friendship?
Absolutely. Especially since he knew my husband also. And, I mean, he was my husband. And he was in trouble. And I was there asking a friend who also happened to be the President of the United States for help.
What you have said here today is essentially what you said before the grand jury as to what happened in the Oval Office, in the President's office that day.
Yes.
And you said that you take an oath before the grand jury.
Yes.
It's the same as you raise your right hand and you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You said that under oath.
Yes.
And you say that today?
Yes.
Is she telling the truth? The President's lawyer, Bob, under oath.
Yes.
And you say that today?
Yes.
But the question is she telling the truth when it comes to what happened, like she told the grand jury? But what about the President's lawyer? What does he have to say? When we come back, we're going to hear more from Kathleen Willey, and we're going to hear from Bill Clinton, the former lawyer Bill Clinton, and there could be an investigation. Would there be? Stay with us. Returning to our story, you've heard Kathleen Willey talk about what happened when Bill Clinton sexually assaulted her. Her case was before Kenneth Starr and the grand jury years ago. But you may decide then what you may decide now. Is she telling the whole story and the whole truth? Like when you raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? she would say yes. And what you're about to hear next is what Bill Clinton's lawyer had to say when the tables were turned. Once again, here's Ed Bradley.
The FBI is now investigating charges that this man, Nathan Landau, a major Democratic Party contributor with close ties to the White House, tried to pressure Kathleen Willey to keep her story secret. In fact, just that was told to the grand jury this week. But Landau says he hardly knew her.
Nate Landau, you know him?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that this is someone you've seen more than a couple times? This wasn't just a casual acquaintance?
Yes.
You have discussed with Nate Landau the incident that took place in the White House, in the Oval Office?
Extensively, yes.
It's been reported that he has brought pressure on you not to talk about it publicly. Is that true?
I can't say at this point because of all that's going on.
All of these ongoing investigations?
Yes.
Willie's lawyer advised her not to say any more about Landau. That's probably because Willie is cooperating with Kenneth Starr, who may not want to reveal his hand before Landau is called to testify before the grand jury. Landau declined our request for an interview, and as we said, he says they hardly knew each other, and that he'd never had a detailed conversation with her about any of her relationships. While Kathleen Willey did not want to talk about Nathan Landau, she did tell us other people close to the president had tried to influence her.
Have you ever been pressured?
Yes.
How? Tell me about it.
I felt pressured by Mr. Bennett.
The president's attorney?
Yes. We were together at some point before a court hearing, and he mentioned that he had just he had just been at the White House, and the president asked for me and told him that he just thought the world of me. And he said, now, this was not sexual harassment, was it? And I didn't answer him. And he said, well, and it wasn't unwelcome, was it? And I said to him, it was unwelcome and unexpected.
Did you feel intimidated by Bennett?
I felt pressured, especially when he threw in the business about, well, the president just thinks the world of you, and I found that a little laughable, though.
Why?
Well, because if the president thought the world of me, why did he do what he did?
Willie says she did not find it laughable when she says Bennett suggested she find herself a criminal lawyer.
The insinuation to me was that Mr. Bennett was implying that I was going to face some kind of a criminal charge for perjury or something else, and that I would need an inside the loop, an inside Washington criminal lawyer, and I didn't, and I don't.
Bob Bennett says that isn't so, and insists that if Willie says that, she is lying. For her part, Willie says if there are any perjury charges to be filed, they should be directed at the president.
He said under oath that the meeting stands out in his mind because you were so distraught, you were so emotional that day, and that he may have kissed you on the forehead in a consoling way, but it was not a sexual advance. If the president said that under oath, is he lying?
Yes.
He is lying.
Yes.
When the story first emerged last summer, the president's lawyer, Bob Bennett, said that President Clinton had no specific recollection of ever meeting Willie in the Oval Office. But in a sworn deposition 2 months ago, the president contradicted his own lawyer, saying he remembered very well an Oval Office meeting with Kathleen Willey. Still, President Clinton denied emphatically any sexual encounter.
What do you make of the conflict? I mean, there's a clear contradiction here. What do you make of that?
I think that he probably realized that completely disavowing any meeting was just ludicrous. when I came out of the Oval Office, the first person I saw was Lloyd Benson, and it has since been reported that, yes, indeed, he was there for a 3 o'clock meeting. I mean, these things can be documented.
Kathleen Willey says the incident that day in 1993 was not the first time the president had shown an unusual interest in her. She remembers a day in 1992 when then Governor Clinton made a campaign trip to Richmond, Virginia, where Willey was volunteering to help get him elected.
I was at the airport to welcome him, and while I was out there meeting him, he spotted me and we waved, because I had seen him before at previous fundraisers, and he sent someone over to get my telephone number.
Did you ever use it?
He called me when he got to Williamsburg, and when I got home, he called me. He asked me if I could. He had lost his voice, and he was worried about that for the debate the next evening. And he asked me how far I was from Williamsburg, and I told him. And I kiddingly told him, I just jokingly said, "It sounds like you need some chicken soup." And he said, "Well, would you bring me some?" And I said, I don't really think I answered him because I thought he was just being facetious. And then he told me that he was surrounded by Secret Service agents, and that he would try to get rid of him, and if I would come down. And he said he would call me back later, which he did, and I declined to go.
You declined to go because?
Because my instincts told me he wasn't interested in chicken soup.
In an effort to raise questions about Kathleen Willey's credibility, the president's lawyers obtained a sworn affidavit from a woman who used to be one of Willey's closest friends. Her name is Julie Steele, and she initially confirmed Kathleen Willey's story, saying that Willey went to Julie Steele's house on the night of the incident with President Clinton, and then Willey told her what had happened. But in that affidavit, Steele now maintains that she lied at Willey's request. Why would she say that?
My own personal belief is that she was pressured. I think that the White House wanted to try to discredit me, and they found a pawn in her.
The affidavit Steele signed at the request of the president's lawyers said Steele had, quote, never heard of any allegations of improper conduct by President Clinton until Willey asked her to lie. But Steele told Newsweek magazine that Willey had told her that the president that very day had made a pass at her. And there's yet another woman in this story, Linda Tripp. That's the same Linda Tripp who secretly tape-recorded Monica Lewinsky talking about an affair Lewinsky claimed she had with President Clinton. What does Linda Tripp have to do with Kathleen Willey? They worked together at the White House, and Tripp was there when Willey emerged from the president's office that day in 1993.
Did you say anything to her?
I remember saying to her, "You are just not going to believe this." And we went outside, and I told her what had happened.
You say that you were angry, you were upset, you were distraught, yet she says you were joyful.
I think probably in defense of her, I think if I get into a very tense situation, I fall back on my sense of humor. I think when I said, "You are not going to believe this one," maybe she took that as joyful.
A few months later, Kathleen Willey, shown here in a White House photograph with the president, had received a part-time paying job, and Linda Tripp was moved from the White House to the Pentagon. According to Willey, Linda Tripp was furious.
She said, "Don't you think for 1 minute that I don't know what's going on around here?" And I said, "I don't know what you mean." And she said, "I know you're here because the president want you here, and they want me out of here because I know what happened. And I said, that's just absolutely, positively not true. She was very angry, very upset, very bitter, and she ended the conversation by saying, I'm going to get you and everyone else in this place before this is all over.
Linda Tripp, through her lawyer, denies saying she was out to get anyone. But somehow Willie's name came to the attention of Paula Jones's lawyers, and Willie, who says she intended to take her story to the grave, was ordered by a judge to give her deposition.
You were a reluctant witness. You didn't want your story to go public.
No.
Why not?
I just knew that it was just a bad story. It was just horrible behavior on the part of the president, and I did not think it was my place to make it public knowledge.
You didn't walk away? You didn't lodge a complaint anywhere?
No, that's right. That was the choice I made.
Because?
That was the choice that I thought was the best one. I was embarrassed for the president's behavior, and I saw no benefit whatsoever in filing a complaint. Or who do you file a complaint with anyway? When it's the president, where do you go?
Then why did she decide now to go public?
I just think that it's time to tell this story. I think that there are too many lies are being told, too many lives are being ruined, and I think it's time for the truth to come out.
What Kathleen Willey has had to do was try to put her life back together. On the day she met with the president in the Oval Office, unbeknownst to either of them, her husband committed suicide, apparently distraught over his mounting legal and financial problems. As for the permanent job Kathleen Willey was seeking from the president, she never got it. To this day, she wonders why. Earlier this week, we asked Bob Bennett, the president's lawyer, to come on this broadcast, but he declined. However, yesterday, the White House called to say that he had changed his mind. And when we spoke with him last night, his message was clear. The story Kathleen Willey told us was just not so.
The President of the United States adamantly denies the allegations that she has made. He is absolutely bewildered by them. He cannot understand why this is being said.
What is the president's account of what happened that day in the Oval Office?
What the president's account is, and is very simple. He said that I forget the mechanics of how it happened, but Miss Willey wanted to come see him. He said that when Miss Willey came in to see him, she was terribly distraught. She was emotionally upset. She was teary. And she said that her husband was missing, I believe, and that did not know where they were, that she had recently learned that her husband had cheated several of their clients out of money, that they were broke, that her world was closing in on her and falling on her, and that she really needed to have a more permanent job and not just be a volunteer. She apparently told the president that she saw a lot of debts, etc., etc. He said they talked and they talked. He said he did his best to console her. He said he hugged her. He said he may have given her a kiss on the forehead. He said that she was very grateful. Thank you very much for talking to him. That he said that he put his arm around her and indicated that he would try to be as helpful and supportive as he could, and that was it. When he heard from me about what was being said, which made its way into Newsweek, I will tell you that his reaction in my presence was one of shock, bewilderment, outrage, that any impropriety could be suggested as a result of that meeting. I have never seen him in my personal dealings with him so personally bewildered and angry that an allegation, he could not believe this was being said, and to this day he is bewildered about it.
Mr. Bennett concedes that Kathleen Willey is not part of what he calls the Get Clinton crowd. And like all lawyers, he's confident his client will be vindicated.
My client is the president. He says it didn't happen. I believe the president, okay? I believe him. The day is going to come, Ed, one way or another, either because Judge Wright throws the Paula Jones case out, as I hope and believe she may, or a jury of 12 people, not Ed Bradley, not Bob Bennett, are going to sit there and listen to all of the evidence and decide who is and who is not telling the truth.
Unless someone were to take a lie detector test to prove. But that was just too late. So there's 5 people in total. But there's 4 other people. There's Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broderick, Paula Jones, Monica Lewinsky, and Linda Tripp. All 5 are going to be named. Were named in this. And the president admitted to having a relationship with Monica Lewinsky. But all the other cases were pressured by one person to say, "Don't you talk about it. You know, we want to cover the president's ass." So you believe she's telling the truth? She was telling the truth. Even if it happened, you know, there was proof. There was proof in those photos. But here's the thing, though. If she took a lie to your test to prove her innocence, it'd be a Steve Wilkos classic. It'd be a detailed question. It would be asked like this. This time would be asked, Kathleen, did the president really sexually assault you on the day in question? You answered yes. Are you lying? Are you making false allegations that President Bill Clinton sexually assaulted you that day in question? She answered no. Did former President Bill Clinton touch you very inappropriately? She answered yes. And the results for all those questions indicate 2 things. Either she was deceptive, she did not tell the truth, or non-deceptive. If she was not, like we talked about before, if you're not deceptive, that means you told the truth. If you're deceptive, that means you lied. In her case, if she took the lie hearing test and it proved that she told the truth, then if she had taken the lie hearing test before the grand jury and said, hey, this lie hearing test proves it didn't do anything, that it happened, she told the truth. She told the truth. And at the press of the lie hearing test, it'd be non-deceptive. It'd be deception. Telling the truth. Did not tell the truth. But, you know, the scoring system, -6 to fail, a +6 to pass. If the president was lying, it'd be over a -6. It'd be a -28. Extreme deception indicated. Depending on the questions that was asked or how many times he took the test. So we had to see on the Steve Wilkos show. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Finally tonight, teen boys at 12 and 13 are charged for something you don't hear about. Wait for it. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. 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 Vandalism. Vandalism. You know how much I hate vandalism. There's no excuse. I hate vandalism. I hate when people destroy people's property for no apparent reason. But this happened just 4 days ago. Just take a look at this.
Who would do such a thing? Police body cam footage captures the moment an outrageous act of vandalism is discovered at an elementary school. With guns drawn, officers make their way through the mess. Tables were overturned, books were ripped from shelves and strewn about. Graffiti was everywhere. The mayor of Deltona, Florida, is calling the incident unacceptable and inexcusable. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office released this image of the suspects and asked for the public's help in identifying them. Sure enough, on Monday, 2 boys, a 12 and 13-year-old, were charged, and County Sheriff Mike Chitwood took the unusual step of releasing the mugshots and names, even though they're minors. He did not hide their identity, but we are covering their eyes. Their moms turned them in. The boys confessed, he says.
I gotta give the moms credit. They called us. They didn't tell the kids we were coming. If your little cherub gets arrested for a felony, I am allowed to publish their photo.
Chitwood said the boys admitted to breaking into the school, then returning on the same day to look at their handiwork and cause more damage.
Hey, Henry, you want to go do something together? Let's go vandalize a school. Okay, but we're going to need some masks and all. I got you covered. Do. Strolling around. Hey, let's go vandalize this school first. Okay? Pick a bat. You better take a look out. Is it all clear? Yo, is it all? Like, I would be the vandal. I'd be the vandal while he's the lookout. Is it all clear? All clear. And then I'll go, it's all clear. It's all clear. I think about that scene from Big Time Rush, you know, where the mom was a lookout and the father destroys the mailbox. It's all clear. It's all clear. It's all clear. It's all that Nickelodeon thing. All right, you and the, and I'll continue the joke here. And then we break in the school. We vandalize everything. We break all the windows. We go every classroom, and then all of a sudden we go back, and then we make a run for it. Let's hide in the bed. Like, Henry, hide in the bed. We'll come back in the morning and check it out. And all of a sudden, oh yeah, we did it. Dude, don't act like you did it. They'll know. And sure enough, camera shows that we did it. We get arrested, and all of a sudden, you know, we're in jail. Not for Volusia County, somewhere else. All right. Come up on Thursday. Juanita Broderick. The other Jane Doe number 5 is the same person that she says. So we already dealt with Kathleen Willey. So if Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broderick, the other person that Stone Phillips interviewed, Paula Jones, Linda Tripp, and Monica Lewinsky. There's 5 more of these women. There's 4 men. There's 4 victims. There's other victims to this case. So we dealt with Kathleen Willey. Now there's Juanita Broderick, Paula Jones, and the other woman that Stone Phillips interviewed, along with Monica Lewinsky. There's 4 of the women. The other one, Linda Tripp, Nancy Collins is going to have that interview. We're going to have that for you next week. So tomorrow is Juanita Broderick. And then coming up on Friday, we're going to have the Stone. So coming on Thursday, we're going to have Juanita Broderick. And we're also going to have the Stone Phillips interview with the other woman in the part of the Bill Clinton scandal. Then on Friday, it's Linda Tripp. And Saturday, it's Monica Lewinsky. All that's coming up the rest of the week. So that's on the agenda. And that's giving me a break for this. And that's giving me a break for this
Wednesday going to Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow for Give Me a Break Thursday. For all of us here at YouTube, Give Me a Break. Stop bullying, speak up, concentration not straight, no jaywalking. Autism is not a disability, it's your power, it's your body, your choice. Now and always, I'm here for you. Take care of yourself and each other. Good night.